राधे कृष्ण श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीमते रामानुजाय नमः. In this episode we will be continuing with the second verse which was narrated by the lady of Tirukkolur to Swami Ramanuja. The verse goes like this: Did I kill my ego like Vithura? So this is the comparison which the Tirukkolur lady is doing, where she is comparing herself with Vithura. So Vithura was a person who had no ego at all. So this lady is asking Swami Ramanuja whether she had killed her ego like Vithura. So Vithura is a character who comes in Mahabharata. Now he is a minister in Hastinapur and he is the half brother of Dhritarashtra and Pandu. So he works as a minister for Dhritarashtra, who is a difficult boss. Now this is the second straight instance of people working for difficult bosses. Like we did see Akrura in the first episode, that he is working for Kamsa and he faces a lot of challenges. Kamsa is an impossible boss to work with, but just because Akrura had an unflinching devotion for Krishna, he could overcome this particular situation. Now in this episode, Vithura is also a staunch devotee of Krishna. He is working for an impossible boss, difficult boss called Dhritarashtra. So if these people in the past have worked for difficult bosses, have faced difficult circumstances, yet they have attained the highest stage of devotion, it's a lesson for us as well, that we also can do well in our material life, in our careers, yet we can see the highest phase in devotion as well. This incident happens in Mahabharata, where Krishna comes as a messenger to Duryodhana and the Kauravas. So Duryodhana and his team, they offer lunch and stay to Krishna when he comes as the messenger, but Krishna flatly refuses their offer. Instead, where he chose to go, he goes to the place of Vithura, because Krishna is not comfortable to have food or to stay with Duryodhana, who had evil intentions in his mind, whereas he chose to go to Vithura, who had a pure heart, who didn't have any ego. So the story goes like this: when Krishna goes to meet Vithura, he is hungry and he wants food. So there are two versions of the story. Let's see both the versions. So when he goes knocking at Vithura's door for some food, the first version goes like this, that Vithura is not at his home. His wife opens the door and she is elated to see Krishna. So Krishna says, I am hungry, so whatever you have, I am ready to eat. Vithura's wife offers some bananas to Krishna. So Krishna accepts that wholeheartedly. So when Vithura's wife is peeling off the banana skin to offer it to Krishna, she is lost in the thought that the Lord has come to their place. So instead of offering the fruit, she ends up offering the banana skin. Now Krishna is also immersed in the divine love of Vithura's wife, so he also accepts the banana skin as it is. This continues. Krishna would have consumed 3 banana skins. At that point, Vithura comes home and he is elated to see Krishna at his house, but he is equally surprised to see that Krishna is consuming banana skins. So when he asks his wife, why is Krishna being offered banana skin, that's when both Krishna and Vithura's wife come to their senses. Then Vithura and his wife arrange for a grand feast. So Krishna partakes the feast, though in a disinterested fashion. So Vithura is naturally curious. He asks, is there any problem with the food? He doesn't seem to be very interested. Krishna says, no doubt the food is very good, but the pure love and devotion which was demonstrated by Vithura's wife when she offered the banana skin, that cannot be compared with this grand feast. Both Vithura and his wife accepted this as a divine experience and they were very happy, but they didn't get any pride or arrogance in them that the Lord was sitting with them having a feast. The other version of the story goes like this. When Krishna comes knocking at Vithura's place, Vithura is just going to consume his food. He was consuming something called porridge. So when he was about to drink that porridge, Krishna comes. So Krishna says he is hungry. Vithura says he has nothing special to offer except a simple porridge. Krishna is ready to consume that porridge. But Vithura says, I don't have any vessel which is fit to offer you as a god. But Krishna says, I don't have any issues. I'll just hold my hand like this. You pour the porridge and I'll consume it with my hands. Now Vithura is left with no choice. He does as instructed by the Lord. Again, with this incident, there is no pride or ego which attaches to Vithura. Now normally in our day-to-day life, if we were to dine or meet someone great, someone very important, would we be in the same situation as Vithura? May not be. We would want to highlight all these maybe in our social media. We would want to click pics with the celebrities and announce to the world that we had this opportunity to meet these great personalities, etc. That does create some kind of a pride or ego or arrogance in our mind. So Vithura, being in the same position, he was not affected by this at all. He just felt and experienced that divine feeling. There is one more incident which highlights the ego-free mind of Vithura. So it so happens towards the end of Krishna Avatara that Krishna is walking along with one of his other friends called Uddhava. So he tells Uddhava that his Avatara is coming to an end and it would have been better if Vithura was with him at that moment. So saying this, the Avatara comes to an end and at a subsequent date, Uddhava meets Vithura. So Uddhava discloses to Vithura about Krishna Avatara's end, and for that Vithura says that Uddhava was very lucky to be physically with Krishna when the Avatara ended. Uddhava says, no, it is not me who is lucky, Vithura, it is you who are lucky because you were in the final thoughts of Lord Krishna when his Avatara came to an end. Saying that, he narrates the discussion which Krishna had with him earlier, that he wished that Vithura was with him towards the end. So hearing this, Vithura starts crying inconsolably. He says, oh, what a creature I am. Even when the Lord wished that I should be with him at the end, I was not present physically and I gave him sorrow by my absence. So Uddhava was finally convinced that Vithura has this ego-free state. Again, like if it were to happen in our lives that some important personality remembered us and someone discloses this to us, we would feel immense pride, immense joy, immense arrogance can also creep in that, well, I was in some great personality's thoughts, but nothing of that sort could affect Vithura. So this lady from Tirukkolur is collating all these incidents from Vithura's life and making a reference that she never had this kind of an ego-free state to experience the divine and enjoy that spiritual experience like Vithura. So what is the key message for us from this story? Having an ego-free state of mind is very important, is very crucial for experiencing progress in spiritual life. Even Krishna says the same thing in the Bhagavad Gita, where he advocates or preaches that one should lead a life which is devoid of false pride, arrogance and ego. Continue your work in the material world, but have an ego-free state of mind. So elimination of ego will help us in experiencing the supreme bliss. So that's all about the Bhakti Secret 2. Stay tuned, we will soon meet with Bhakti Secret 3. Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha.